Hello everyone, my name is PaperNapkin, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy I. In the last episode, we went through the Cave of the Marsh, and we got the crown. And really, it was a lot easier than I kind of hyped it up to be, but you need to keep in mind, I was kind of at a high level. I was level 10 for the most part. I had the best equipment available, I had some pretty good spells, and I also edited out a lot of the random battles. If you're not as well prepared as I am, and I kind of figured a lot of you won't be, those random battles take their toll over time. And as soon as you run out of cure charges, you run out of healing potions, things tend to go pretty sour pretty quickly. But now that we do have the crown, we were about to place it on the king's head when he revealed to us that he's actually Astos, king of the Dark Elves. And he doesn't really want to talk things over, he wants to kind of lay a beating on us, but we're more than prepared for that. Gonna point out right now that this guy is a giant dick. He kind of has this one ability called Rub. And I just kind of realized I called him a dick and he likes to use Rub. Anyways, that's kind of dirty. He likes to use Rub, which is a really unique, well, it's not unique, but at this point it's the first time that we've seen it. It's an ability that can kill one of our characters in one hit. It has a low hit percentage and he tends to only use it towards the beginning of the battle, but there's not much you can do to prepare for it. If it hits, it hits. You know, kind of get over it. But other than that, he's not that difficult, and he's using Rub, and bam. Hope is dead, one hit. So at least you get to see it. I mean, I don't remember him using it more than once in a battle, so I don't think we need to worry too much. And we should be able to kill him quick enough that it's not that big of an issue. But just keep that in mind. He can use slow too, which is just bugged in this version, so you don't have to worry about that. And I think this should be enough to kill him. 5 damage? What? I have a silver sword, it's not supposed to do 5 damage. 3 damage. This guy's got some pretty good defense. There, that's a little bit better. And he's using fast. I did not remember him using that, but doesn't matter because we killed him. As you will probably remember from the previous episode, fast makes it so your hit percentage goes up, so you do more hits. But good experience points, pretty good gold, and finally Lexa catches up to us to level 10. And for defeating him, it doesn't really say that we get anything, but if you check your inventory, we get the crown, which we already had. We get the crystal, which we can bring to Matoya. And from her, we'll be able to get the herbs, which we can use to bring the Elf King, or Elf Prince rather, back awake from his eternal slumber. So I'm going to go heal up. I'm going to sell off some of that crap that we got from that dungeon. And then I guess I'll meet you over at Matoya's cave. Now that we're back at Matoya's cave, let's give her the crystal ball and then she'll finally be able to see again. And then maybe she'll want to give us some herbs for the Elf Prince. Hello Matoya, here's your crystal ball. And she gives us her most powerful herb. And if we talk to her again... Whoa. Well, that's not very nice. Maybe I don't want to come back. I already stole your treasure. I already talked to your brooms and learned all their secrets. Maybe we'll never see you again. How about that? You'll be lonely here forever. Anyways, now that we have the herb from Matoya, we can actually go back to Elfland and give it to the Elf Prince. So I'll see you guys there. I can already tell this is going to be one of those episodes where I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting and editing, just from all the different random locations that I'm going back and forth to. But if you come to the Elfland Castle, I think that's what it's called, and you bring the herb to the prince, he won't actually do anything with it because he's asleep. What you want to do is give it to his aide, and he'll administer it to the prince, and he'll wake up right away. Kind of powerful herb if it can do that. But his eyes are still closed, but if you talk to him, he'll give us the mystic key. And this is the key item. Get it? This is the key item that we need to open all those locked treasure rooms. So I think in this episode, I'm going to kind of devote the rest of the time to going back to these different locations and picking up the treasure, because some of it is pretty worthwhile. And actually, the first little bit of it you can find here in this castle. Let me see if I can remember how to get to it though. If I remember correctly, we have to like go outside the grass. Maybe I'll go down this way, since that guy is kind of blocking my way. If you come down here, I'm sure there's a better way to get to it, but I know this works for a fact, so. And then you make your way up here. Try not to kind of step off, because then you might have to go back inside the castle. But if you come to this room, you can now open it, and you'll find a silver hammer, which is an upgrade for your white mage. Don't expect to do a heck of a lot more damage, but it's definitely better than the iron hammer, which we bought at the beginning of the game. Wow, we've had that for a while. And here we have some gold, which is always nice, and some more gold, very nice. And we have the copper armlet, or gauntlet. I forget what it's called, one of those two. And this is an improvement for the fighter. We'll switch the gloves for it, and we'll equip the gloves on Lexa. Very nice. Next up, there are a couple different areas we can go to. There's the Temple of the Fiends, there's Cornelia Castle, there's the Dwarven Cave, there's also the Northwest Castle where we defeated Astos just now, and there's also those rooms at the bottom of the Cave of the Marsh. So I think we're going to work in a kind of logical way. We'll start out with the Cave of the Marsh. So I'll see you in 3, 2, 1, and we're here. And as you can see, there's those statues which kind of indicated that there's a wizard fight nearby. But I actually think it's not near it. I think it's, if you go up, I think it's the one right below me. If you were to step on that tile, you encounter those wizards. So you can actually get past them, but not these ones. Oh, there's cobras here. Oh yeah, okay. So this is another set fight in this area, which is kind of stupid and tricky, but cobras are a little bit interesting in that they really like to poison you. I don't remember them being that strong at this point, but we'll see. It is a new enemy. 7 damage to the fighter. That's pretty decent damage, but maybe fire. No, that's not going to kill him one hit. But should speed things up. And 7 damage with the silver hammer. Okay. Doesn't compare to the 148 from the silver sword, but I guess it's better than 1 damage. And alright, just one more to go. So nothing to worry about unless you get poisoned. And oh, let me tell you, I got poisoned so many times on my way down here, which is probably one of the reasons why I hated this dungeon so freaking much. But for defeating them, we get the silver armlet, which is an improvement over the copper one. So let's give that to Hope. And give the copper one, I'm not going to actually equip it on Pancake, because I think it'll actually, well, let's take a look. If we look at Pancake's absorb, it's at 10. If I equip it now, it's at 4, yeah, see, I don't want to do that. So I'll just leave it there. I'll probably sell it when I get back to town, but, so make sure I don't step on that tile, ignore the wizards, and let's head over to the next one. And I don't know why, but all the enemies seem to be able to attack first. But, wonder if there's any traps in this one. Let's go down. Yep. And yep, sure enough, more cobras. But we do get the silver knife, which is an improvement over the large one if you have a black mage. But I'm just going to sell it, as it will give me some nice gold. And if we come over here to room 3 of 4, where this bat is guarding it, there's nothing in it, so just avoid it. Well, I didn't actually know that. Though it does look like you can fight those wizards if you were to go stand next to those stones. But in the last room here, double doors. Ooh, there's one treasure. Looks like we're gonna have to fight something. Just a couple of wizards, nothing we can't handle at this point. And we do get a... That's it. 1,000 gold. So really, what did we get? We got gold, we got a silver knife, which we're gonna sell for gold. We got the silver armlet, so I guess that's the one good thing down here to get. That's worthwhile. So that pretty much finishes what's here in the Marsh Cave, so let's get the heck out of here and go back to the Northwest Castle. Now that we're at the Northwest Castle, we can actually get back into that treasure room that we couldn't get to before, and after that, we're pretty much done with this place. We'll never have to come back again, which is kind of sad, but also a good thing, because I really don't like this place. It's got those bats flying around, and I really, really hate these bats. And you'll see why in a couple episodes coming up, I assure you that. But if you come into this room, there are 3 treasure chests. If you step on the tile directly in front of them, you'll go into a fixed battle with some undead enemies, and they're not too tough. There's mummies and something else. If you're doing a single white mage challenge or 4 white mages, this is a fantastic place to level up, just because you can fire off your harm spells and pretty much, decimate the enemies in 1 or 2 rounds. I remember when I did my 4 white mage challenge way back when, I think I used this place to level up until I was level 25 or so. I mean, it took quite a few hours, but really there was no other options to level up the white mages, especially in this version of the game, because really you don't have enough spell charges to heal yourself properly, and you're just not doing a lot of physical damage with your normal attacks. And so yeah, this was the only option. I'm going to show off one of those battles, but first I'm going to pick up the treasure. If you pick up the treasure from the side, you don't actually have to fight the battles. But in this one here, we have the Falcon, which is better than the Saber for the Thief. A little bit better, not a whole lot better, but it's definitely an improvement. And here we find the Iron Gauntlet, which is actually an improvement over the Copper one. So you want to give that to your main fighter. If you have a secondary one, give him the copper. Alexa can't equip it, so we'll just have to sell it. And in the last one, we have the Power Staff, which you can give to your Black Mage. Unfortunately, I don't have one, so I'll probably just sell it. I could always use some extra gold. But now, an example of those undead creatures. And we have a couple of mummies. Weak to fire, obviously. Weak to holy spells. Let's use a harm to show off how easy it is to kill them. If I can cast it off. There we go. Nice. And boom. 53 damage. Probably not enough to kill in one hit, but if you can get, higher than like 70 or so, you should be able to take it out pretty quickly. And keep in mind, if you have 4 white mages, you can just all use harm level 1, and then damage would be enough to take it out. But as you can see, 225 experience points, 900 gold. That's pretty incredible. Especially for... Oh, whoops. Oh, we have a new enemy. Images. This is also another enemy you can come across here. They're also weak to harm, so let's see if we can kill them off too. We'll compare the experience points and the goals, see which one's better. I'd want to say that the mummies give better, but I can't remember. And I only killed 1. Oh, no, I killed 2. Okay, that's not too bad. And then these guys should be able to... Well... Pancake can't, because Pancake's kind of still emerging as my offensive weapon, but these two can, because of their silver swords. And yeah, images, you don't really have to worry too much about them. They might be able to cause darkness like their other counterparts, but really it's bugs, so you don't have to worry about it. 288 and 1,001. Wow, okay. So usually you counter more of them than the mummies, and you get better rewards, but yeah, if you don't want to do the Power Peninsula with any party you have, this is also a great place to level up really quickly too, so keep that in mind. But now that we're done in here, I think we're going to head over to... Where should we go? I think we'll go to the Temple of the Fiends first. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. So I'll see you there. And we're at the Temple of the Fiends, and as you'll probably remember in the second episode, I mentioned that there's 4 rooms in here, 2 of which on the right are locked. Now that we have the Mystic Key, we can actually open them, and hopefully we'll get some good treasure. So let's go open the bottom right one first, and hopefully it'll actually be something worthwhile. And it's kind of a small room, there's only 1 treasure chest in it. And there's a fixed encounter with some gargoyles. I mean, at this point, you don't really have to worry too much about them. They have some pretty solid defense, but I don't think they can hit you too hard. But hopefully I'm not wrong. Well, 6 damage on Hope. That's nothing. Yeah, you don't have to worry about these at all. They can get multiple hits, but if they're doing like 1 damage a hit, that's nothing. Nothing too concerning at all. And Hope gets the win. Wow, nice. Good job, Hope. Carrying the team. And for defeating them, we get the Rune Sword, which sounds really cool, but it's not. It's not that good. It's kind of disappointing. You would think, in traditional Final Fantasies, as you progress through the game and you get new treasure, they should be stronger than the equipment you already have, but this is not the case. When I was younger, I always used to thought it would be stronger than the Silver Sword, so I'd always equip it on my fighter, and in the end, it was, like, I didn't notice it, but it is weaker than the Silver Sword, so don't equip it on your fighter is what I'm trying to say. You can sell it for some good money. I think, can your thief use it? The thief might be able to use it. But don't hold me on that. I kind of have a feeling they don't. But anyways, if you come here, there's 2 treasure chests, and there's more gargoyles guarding them, and we're gonna have to fight them again because we had to go check out that other chest. But we find a Were Sword, which is another one of those swords that has slightly weaker damage than the Silver Sword, and a Soft Potion, which is very nice. It's good to have because they are like 800 gold pieces each. And another thing about these new swords that we're picking up, they have, pretty unique names like Were Sword, Rune Sword. I always used to thought that, they would have damage multipliers against certain types of enemies, but you gotta keep in mind, this is an late 80s, early 90s game, so to have something like that implemented in the game would have been pretty incredible for its time, and it doesn't actually exist at this point. Later Final Fantasies, they do use this idea, but it's not in this game, so don't worry about that. But now that we've gotten the treasure here, let's head over to Cornelia Castle. Now we are back at Cornelia Castle, which is actually the first place we started off this game at, and I mentioned there is some treasure rooms in here that we couldn't get to before, but now we can. Hopefully there'll be something a little bit more useful in terms of the treasure, because I mean, while those swords are pretty cool, and they do look a little bit better than the Silver Sword, like green and blue and whatnot, They're pretty much useless at this point, because I do have the silver swords. But if you don't, I guess it's a good upgrade, but yeah. In this room here, there's no enemies, you don't have to worry about that, thank God. I was kind of getting sick and annoyed of that. But we have an iron staff, which is something we're going to sell. A saber, which is outdated, we'll sell that as well. A silver knife, which is another one to add to our collection, which I guess we could sell as well. Really, so far the treasure has just been garbage, but hopefully something a little bit better in here. Iron armor, if you don't have this by this point in the game, you're probably not here picking it up. Here we have the iron shield, which is a little bit of an upgrade. Actually, no, it's not. I already have one. What am I talking about? So I'm going to sell that. So really, the garbage that we're picking up is pretty much garbage. We're just going to sell it. But hopefully this last chest will have something worthwhile. And we found some TNT. It's dynamite. If you'll remember, when we went to visit the dwarves, one of them was looking for some dynamite just so he could blow up the canal. And like how I kind of left the dwarf cave as the last place to go to find treasure, it's because I knew I was going to pick up the TNT and we're going to have to go there anyways. I am so clever. So I'll meet you over there now. And we're back at the dwarf caves, and thankfully I'm not poisoned, so we can actually enjoy this nice, relaxing, almost uplifting dwarven music. If you would go over here, you'll probably have noticed that there was a room I didn't check out down here. That's because it was locked and we couldn't get into it, but now we can. So let's do that, and then we'll hand off the TNT to our one dwarven friend down here. I forget what his name is. I think it starts with a G. It's not Gimli, though. I wish it was, though. How amazing would that be? Yeah. There's a lot of treasure in here. No enemies guarding it, so let's pillage it. We found a cabin, which is pretty good. Pretty useful. An iron helmet. Okay. Is that actually better than what we have now? It is. Oh, let's equip that right away, then, before I forget. Alright, full iron. I like that. Good symmetry. And in here we have a dragon sword, which is another one of those swords. It's better than the rune and the rare sword by like 1 attack power. So if you want to use one of the 3, probably use that one. And it sounds better. And we found our 3rd silver knife, which is just stupid. How many knives do you need in this game? A wooden helmet, kind of useless. We'll sell it. Silver armor, which is a huge upgrade over the iron armor. So kind of commented on how awesome that symmetry was. Well, guess what? We don't have it anymore, and it's actually worth it. So if we take a look at our absorb, 31. Wow. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive indeed. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. And we have 2 more treasure chests, so let's take a look. Gold, and I'm going to make a prediction here. More gold. Oh, it's a house. Oh, okay. That's fine. Houses cost a lot of money, so it's pretty much like having gold. Cats for gold. What? And now we can give the TNT to our friend here, and it's dynamite if you didn't know. And the reason you probably noticed, I keep saying that, you probably noticed that I've been saying that a lot, and there's a story behind it, and I feel like sharing it with you right now before we actually hand it off to him, because it's quite a special moment in my heart. A few years back, one of my friends had a birthday party, and he's a big guy. He's a big Australian rugby player, and he needs a lot of beer to get drunk, so he tends to go for the cheaper stuff. And he decided to pick up this one branded beer called TNT, and I don't know if any of you that are actually old enough to drink have actually tried this before, but it's pretty much garbage. Anyways, the entire night was spent him going around and kind of pointing out that he was drinking TNT and that it was dynamite. And yeah, that's where that comes from. Not really that funny unless you were there, because it was one crazy party. I think at one point he was so drunk some dog started making out with him and he couldn't do anything about it. But yeah, that's something else. If we talk to this guy and we give him the TNT, he can now make a canal for us. He just kind of disappears. I guess he goes down here to blow it up. You can't actually see anything. There's nothing there actually. But if you go outside on the world map, there was a little kind of piece of earth that was kind of blocking our way from getting into the rest of the ocean. But now that we've kind of well, we didn't blow it up. The dwarven dude blew it up. We can actually expand our journey to the rest of the world. And it really opens up at this point. Not a whole lot of an idea where to go to next. But we'll figure it out in the next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy. My name is PaperNapkin. Take it easy, folks.